As a child, we all long for a hero. As a society as a whole, we search for that leader that can be our hero. But as we mature and as we grow, it dawned on us that the hero is inside every one of us. And in the world's social media, we all start at 0. And slowly we search deep within ourselves to find who we are. And we have that moment of truth where we embrace that the hero that we've been searching for has been there all along. It is living deep inside of every one of us. And we start embracing that journey and we become that hero that we search for.
Hey everyone, this is Jenifer Kwok. Welcome to Zero to Hero. This is episode 3 and happy Friday. I have our special guest today is Bri Dallmeyer. Hey, Miss Bri.
Hello.
So she works for Children's Mercy, so I'm excited to hear her story. Bri, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to us today?
Hi, guys. Yeah, so as Jen said, my name is Bri Dallmeyer, and I work here at Children's Mercy in our philanthropy department. I help oversee our corporate and community volunteer programs here at the hospital. I've been here about 5 years in October.
That is awesome, Bri. So Children's Mercy definitely has a really special place in my heart. So I was really excited to bring you on the show today. It is an amazing atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And I know that you guys do amazing things as far as volunteer work. And it's really made a personal difference in my life and the life of my children as we've been involved in things at Children's Mercy. So, so in a couple sentences, give an elevator pitch about you. And who is Bri? And I don't mean like, what do you do? What is your job? What is your role? Who are you?
Sure. Yeah. Great question. So I would say I look a little different during COVID. I think right now I'm actually a hospice house for plants. But I am, a friend, a wife, a dog mom who loves Kansas City. I love this community, and I love Children's Mercy. And so I really try to strive to kind of uphold those things in my everyday life. And COVID really hasn't stopped that. So I think one of the things that I've just tried to continue to do is be there for friends and family and for the work that I do to help make a better experience for our patients and families here.
That is awesome, Bri. I know that you definitely have a big task at work, and I know that Kansas City is the perfect place to be a dog mom. So, so I love that. I know that we're very big pet lovers here in Kansas City. So,
well, I can show you mine.
Oh, let's see it.
Captain.
Oh my goodness!
But he's a Corgi Chow who we rescued. He's the absolute love of our life.
That is an awesome mix too. I have actually never heard of that mix, but both of those breeds are really sweet.
Oh yeah, he's so cute. We love him.
Oh, that's awesome. So please tell us about your social media journey. Like, what has that been like for you? I know everybody starts at 0 on social media. So what does that look like for you?
Yeah, sure. So I would say social media wise, I guess from a personal perspective, I really just try to put out things that are really uplifting and just everything is so tumultuous right now in the world with COVID and just so many other things at play. And so just trying to make sure I'm there, I'm active, I'm present. I know it's not always easy, but right now I think it's definitely a time to be there and be present and use your voice.
Right. Do you mind if I ask you, like if our audience wants to connect with you, what social media platforms are you active on or the most active on?
Yeah. So I do have a Twitter, but I'm not active. So don't try to me there.
Right.
But Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, especially, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to connect.
That's awesome. Yeah. So we'll have to definitely plug your information here at the end because I would love for people to be able to connect with you to find out ways that they can help So what does it actually look like during this time at Children's Mercy to be a volunteer, like during COVID?
Great question, Jen. So, we have over 1,800 active volunteers. About half of those used to come into the hospital every single day. They'd be there guiding our families around the hospital, making sure our kiddos are engaged at the bedside, or if they need a host to take them to the play space, they can go to those areas and they can have fun, and just the volunteers just brighten up the hospital. And so right now we have and then about the other half just kind of volunteer as needed. And they might volunteer on auxiliaries, at events, other things like that, corporate groups, community groups, doing kind of those one-off activities that are especially needed and help make the hospital just a brighter place for everybody. And so we really had to dial back, and it changed the landscape, I think, for a little bit. So much of what we do is really relying upon just our volunteers to make it the best atmosphere possible. So we've kind of taken the phase of, phase one volunteers who are really critical to kind of day-to-day operations to impact our families. So those guys are kind of back. But you can see our team is really stepping up too, to kind of fill in some of those gaps, especially on the ground floor as families are coming into the hospital and just walking into, sometimes they're familiar with the hospital, and other times it's an unfamiliar place. They've had a challenge getting down here, or they, started at the wrong location. And so we just want to make sure that they have the best experience possible when they first come into the door, because you can imagine just the little amount of stress that can take off their plates, just them thinking about, what's in store for my kid next. And so we try our best to make sure that people have the experience that they deserve here. And so volunteer wise, I will say right now, for anybody who is looking to throw your hat in the ring to volunteer here, I would say we have a lot of virtual options right now. So many other ways that you can help us out just from the comfort of your own home, whether that's sharing our stories or providing donations, whatever that is. So please connect with me. I'd love to share more about some of the fun ways that we're transitioning our programming.
That is amazing. So do you guys have anybody that comes in personally to still do some tasks for you? Or is it mostly all virtual right now during COVID?
Great question. So we do have just a handful. It's kind of those phase one volunteers that are here helping our families. So we don't have as many, we don't have our number that we typically like. So we have a couple volunteers, at every shift, helping out where they can. So we have a few inpatient to help our families and our kiddos. And then we also have some just helping us as needed with some operations or guiding our families around the hospital.
Right. So I'm sure that there's also some times where you could maybe have some. Give me one moment. I'm sorry. Children, I'm in a live show. Can you please go back upstairs? No, you may not ask anything. Please go. Thank you. Yeah, I'll take care of you in just a minute. I'm so sorry. I don't
think that we're all experiencing right now during COVID.
I'm like, okay, just roll with this, roll with the punches, because this is pretty typical. And usually they're very respectful of live show, but today they don't seem to understand it. You guys need to take yourself back upstairs, please. Go upstairs, please. No. Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to keep going with this. So I think that's really cool. And I definitely want to look for ways. I love to play the guitar. So I don't have one right now, but I think I'm going to have to get one so I can do some virtual playing and singing for the hospital. So I'm definitely going to be talking to you about how I can personally give, because I think that is really special. And I know that it's really hard with all the distancing that has to go on between families and, with not having as many on-site volunteers. So
yeah, and I will say too, we just kicked off one new program. It's called Junior Champions Program, and anybody can be a part of this program. We're really gearing it towards our youth donors, so that we can kind of teach them about philanthropy, the hospital, giving back, kind of all that service wrapped up into it. And so I didn't bring it with me. It's not around, but it's actually physical charms that you can collect as you kind of continue on your journey here at the hospital. So you maybe you want to host a lemonade stand on our behalf, or you want your birthday gifts to be brought down to the hospital to then be used for our patients. So each time you would bring in something like that, you gain a charm, and you can add it to your actual keychain that actually says Junior Champions on it. So we're really excited about that program.
That is so much fun. And I love really accentuating all the different things that you have available, because I think a lot of us don't know, don't know the opportunity that's there, or how we could get involved, or how special it is to the patients and families that are at the hospital. So I love that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next question here. Every superhero has a defining moment of when, for example, I can think of one I've given before, but like Aquaman, where he all of a sudden realizes he is the king and he needs to step up and take that position, even if he doesn't feel worthy of it. That is his place. And so what is your defining moment when it comes to your life and career?
Oh, great question. I think that just more recently, it really was kind of the start of COVID. And, we were so comfortable in some of these on-site hospital opportunities, and we weren't really thinking outside the box. And so for me, it's really that time frame of, just making these available opportunities to everybody, even when they can't come on site, and how we change and adapt very quickly. And so for me, that was a really defining moment in growing this program and growing what we do for the hospital and how we can impact our patients and families, even when people can't be on site. And so for us, for me, it was, starting these Amazon wish lists. So you guys might see those come out. We're kind of trying to kick those off every couple months as we gain needs from around the hospital. Right now, it's our back to school kickoff, because, school hasn't stopped, especially for our kiddos here in the inpatient world, who might be spending months at a time here, and they don't want to, so many kids look at school and it's really just a, they're like, oh, I don't want to have to go to school. But our kids, they don't want to be left behind. And so we actually have hospital-based school teachers here that can help keep them kind of up to pace, up to speed, so that when they do go back to school, they're right there. They haven't, lost any of that learning capacity, and they're right there with their class. And so they have some needs. And so we put those out this time of year. So you guys can see some of those ways to give, and just some other virtual things that we're just going to kick off. So I think for me, it's really been a test of adaptability right now. And so I think that was a huge defining moment.
I love that. I love how it came out as a result of something that is considered a negative situation, a negativity, but you've actually used it as an opportunity to be enlightened, to grow, to facilitate new things. And I feel like it's expanded your mind and heart to new opportunities of what you can do to help these people. And that's beyond words to me. I love that. Just taking a negative and making it so positive.
Yeah, and I think it's been that way for our entire team. Really, we've gotten to know other teams around the hospital who really need our help, and so it's been great to get to know them, and really just seeing just how committed our community really is. Kansas City is such a generous community, and to see that during COVID it just made all of our hearts very happy too. We really thought, there were moments when we first kicked this off where we were in need of masks. We were going through 7,000 a week. And we just weren't going to be able to keep up. And people answered the call, and, we had mask donation after mask donation, or food donations for our families or our staff. And we've just seen so much generosity come out of this, and it hasn't stopped.
That's amazing. And honestly, Bri, I really feel that there's so much more people who would love to give. It's just they don't know. They don't know about it. They don't think about, oh, I should reach out to Children's Mercy and see how I can volunteer. But when you hear, hey, you could purchase, like I saw your article where you were talking about, here's how you can help the school kids. You can go right on Amazon. Here's their needs, and you just purchase something. It's that simple. You're literally putting it in the hands of people of, here's what you can do. And it's easy. It's not difficult, but you're helping so many. And I know that these kids, they don't want to feel disconnected. Like even during COVID, my children feel disconnected because we are continuing to social distance. So they're not getting to play with children and they're not getting to interact a lot. And so I love that. I just love that we can be a part of their learning process and of helping them feel connected.
Yeah. And I
And
think, go ahead. Well,
no, Kansas City is awesome for that. Go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say, I think the one thing too is just people giving back. It really means so much to our patients and our families. They know that this community is thinking about them. Like the smallest act of kindness makes a huge difference in their world.
Right.
And so I want to thank everybody who is either, choosing to get more involved, who has been involved. Thank you guys so much for making this the best place possible for our patients and family and their care.
Absolutely. I know I can put myself in their shoes and just think about, if my children were in the hospital right now during this time when family can't come visit, when there's so much going on, and just to have somebody, giving to us that we don't even know. They don't have to give. They're choosing to give. And I can see how that would be a huge blessing. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are the attributes that defines a hero? Like for you, what do you feel like are attributes for a hero?
Yeah. Well, I would definitely think commitment, because I think, you have to be there even when things are hard. So I think commitment is a huge one for me. And I think too, it's being adaptable. It's being a team player. I think especially in this time, we've really learned that, we've had to rely on so many different resources and team members that we normally wouldn't have to. And so for me, I think those are definitely keys and what can define a hero, and just being able to listen and be present.
That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it does really take a team and a community to make things happen. So being committed to one another and the people in need I agree with you. That's a good one. I haven't heard that one yet. So I'm like, yeah, commitment. I got to think about that. All right. Well, if you had to pick a superhero, any superhero, Americans love their superheroes, that relates best to you, who would it be and why?
Oh my gosh. This is really my husband's forte. He's always making me watch superhero movies. What I always watched when I was little, and maybe you guys have not seen this, but it's Captain Planet.
Okay.
And for me, I'm also on a really huge environmental kick, and so I think he might relate best to me. And just I'm and especially in healthcare too, I'm always cognizant of some of the ways that just you can't get around. And so where can we kind of offset some of those things, whether it's in the cafeteria or other things? So I'm always trying to be an advocate in my daily life and in my work life on how I can be cognizant of those things. So I'm going to go with Captain Planet.
Well, we will take Captain Planet for sure, because I'm a big recycler and naturalist. So I feel guilty throwing anything paper away. So tell me why Captain Planet? Is it because of just liking to protect the planet?
Yeah, I think so. I think and that's one that I've always had in the back of my mind. I always loved the show, and I always loved him as a person, and I felt like he always brought, you obviously saw him bring his team together. And so for me, I think that would be why.
That is going to forever be stuck in my mind. When I think of Bri, I'm going to be thinking about Captain Planet and saving the world. So I definitely think, based on that superhero, that you are where you need to be in your career and in life.
Yes.
I think it fits you very well, saving the world. So,
okay. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, Bri, tell us where, I know you said kind of what platforms that you're on. How can our audience connect with you on those platforms? What should we be looking for? Are you under Bri Dallmeyer? How do we find you?
Yeah, great question. So I think everything is Bri Dallmeyer. I know it's kind of a challenging last name. And you can, call me at work. I'm happy to give you my number. It's 816-234-3496. Please call, email me, bldallmeyer@cmh.edu. I'd love to connect. brainstorm ideas on how you might want to support the hospital or Kansas City as a whole. I'm connected with some other organizations as well, and I always look at myself as kind of a connector. I kind of based off the Tipping Point book, and and so I think for myself, I'm always wanting to connect people based off of kind of where their talents lie or what they're most passionate about. And so I encourage you to please reach out. I'm happy to support however I can in this journey.
That's awesome. And I actually have one more question for you here that's coming to my mind. For our audience, what would you say that about what's like 5 areas that people might be able to get involved, like main things that people might be able to get involved to volunteer at Children's Mercy, whether it be virtually or whatever? I'm thinking of examples like music or storytelling. What is 5 of your top things that you could think about?
Yeah, great question. So right now, it's a little bit smaller list than it typically would be. Some of those areas are, it's more like kind of tangible based. So putting together happy kits. So we actually have craft activity kits for the kiddos, and I actually used to have one here. And they are kind of comprised of anything from a coloring book, crayons, markers, whatever it is, playing cards, anything to keep our kids occupied during their wait times. It's not just for our kiddos at the bedside. We use them a lot too in our outpatient facilities. We have a lot of kiddos who come from far away. We are treating a really, really big area. And so we might have kiddos who are there for back-to-back appointments because they've traveled so far or because their treatment, they need that. And so they might be here for half the day, all day, and then they're, going home and it's a 30-minute drive or 3-hour drive. And so we're able to pass out these happy kits to make sure that they have something fun and entertaining to do at the hospital. And some of our families, they know the drill. They'll pack up their bags. They've got everything ready to go. And then you have that day where you're just human and you might forget it. And so we can step in and help kind of mom, dad, brother, sister, our patients, and make sure they have a good stay with us. And so happy kits are huge. There's something we can use right now. I know it's very specific, but it's really fun for families to do with their kiddos. So you guys can shop online for the items. You can have a packing party and assembly party with your friends if you guys are seeing any of your family. And then you can actually make a time and schedule a drop-off here at the hospital. And we are doing kind of socially distant drop-offs. And so we're using Sign Up Genius to make sure that we only have so many families here at a certain time. So we only have one family here kind of every 15, 20 minutes. And so if you guys are interested in that, please let me know. Another really big one would be we're actually kicking something off for our staff, which is just these kind of really easy snack packs. And they're also used for families, but it could be a pack of gum, a bag of chips, a granola bar, and then also just a kind of a thank you note. And so if you're doing that for our staff, we're getting that up on the website soon. But if you're going to do it for our staff, it's just, thank you for what you do, for your commitment. We appreciate you. Because right now it is really hard on our staff. And so I would say that and our families too, because they don't have the resources that they typically would. We don't have our Ronald McDonald House open right now for families to grab a meal if they need it. And so when people do reach out and they want to offer a meal, we've been offering it to our families. So that's another way that you can actually get involved is pick a place where they might do boxed lunches or something individually packed and wrapped. We can accept it and get it up to our families who can really benefit from it right now. We've heard so often, and it just breaks my heart that, some families are here, especially those in the NICU who want to see their babies all the time, who may be driving hours and they may have more siblings at home. And a family told us once that it was choosing between gas money and lunch that day on kind of where their money went. And so to be able to provide some of these items to them too is just a relief in general. And especially now when times are really hard.
I love that. And actually that kind of brought some different ideas to me as far as like, fruits like bananas, gift cards for those families to be able to go out and grab something that they like from a specific restaurant or a Visa card that can go anywhere. And I was thinking something that would be really fun to add in those happy packs is the travel games like travel checkers or travel
Oh, those are
chess,
perfect. Yep.
Connect Four, because
Yep.
they can not only play with them with their family at the hospital, but it's going to be fun on the way on the drive back home, you know,
Yep.
and they can keep those with them and use them for the next time or whatever. So,
Jen, those are great suggestions.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was just coming to my mind when we were talking, and I'm like, oh, that just, yeah, we got to add more to that. But I love it. I absolutely love it. And like I said, I'm going to be looking for a way that I can connect with you and help with this. And also, I hope that our company can get involved, or at least push this out there more for you. Let Kansas Cityans know that this is a need right now. If you
Yep.
guys want to help somebody, you know, instead of worrying about, is this real, is this not real, and all the politics going on right now, let's focus on the children and the families that are truly in need.
Yeah.
And so I hope to help with that initiative. So
Yeah. And Jen, I'll share one more. So we do have a Dream Big Day coming up, and it's from September 19th through the 26th. And you can find more info on our website, but it's just a virtual time. So, before COVID, we had it all planned, where it was going to be a really fun celebration for our families who are maybe having different reunions. Maybe it's, families in the NICU who have gotten to know each other, or from different areas around the hospital, from our friends and families in the community who really support us. And so it was just going to be a really fun day of activities and support for the hospital. But now they've moved it virtual, and they've done such a great job. So over the course of the 19th through the 26th, you'll be able to log on every day and kind of be participating in different activities that we've kind of that we are kind of guiding you in. And so you can fundraise to help make a difference for our hospital and for research. And you can do that individually or by creating a team. And then you can actually do a virtual walk with your team that you created. So I would encourage everybody to get on there. It's going to be really fun. They've done a really great job on creating that.
And where did you say that we could go to find that particular event?
Yeah.
Was it on the Go ahead.
It's on our website. So if you actually just type in Dream Big Day and Children's Mercy, it should be the first link that pops up.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then so we will be watching out for that. And are you also going to be able to share that on your LinkedIn page?
Absolutely.
Okay. So those of you out there who have heard Bri discuss the different options of how we can help Children's Mercy Hospital here in Kansas City, make sure that you reach out to Bri. She's happy to share her information with you. To get in contact with her, go ahead and follow her LinkedIn page, and you can check out the events at Children's Mercy as well. So for the Dream Big Day that she was talking about. Anyway, we are glad to have you guys all on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us at Zero to Hero, and we will see you guys again next Friday. Nice to chat with you, Bri.
Thank you, Jen.